Have you ever felt lost in a relationship? Like you feel like you're losing yourself or you've lost a part of yourself because perhaps you need to change certain parts of your character or the way you talk or your attitude to be accepted or loved in the relationship, or to not ruffle feathers or to not piss the other person off. This happens in all relationships, with your employers, like your bosses, with partners in relationships, with coworkers, family members especially, where you alter yourself to be accepted and essentially to be loved, because underneath the alteration is the desire to be loved and accepted. So I'm going to share with you a quick experience from back in the day. In around 2013, I had just went through a divorce, and I was with my ex-wife for 9 years total. So my identity, as you can imagine, was closely linked to the relationship and to the marriage. So when that was removed, I was in a position now of rediscovering myself and finding out, who am I really without this person, without this relationship? And I didn't realize how many voids I had and how many voids I was trying to fill from my external world, with other people, with alcohol, coping mechanisms, relationships, chasing after the next best thing, trying to fill this emptiness that I had inside of me. So the story goes like this. I met this beautiful Puerto Rican girl, and we hit it off, exchanged numbers, we were talking every day. And there was a part of me that felt like I was almost like changing myself to make her laugh, or acting out a character to get her attention. And I noticed how I was overly eager to message her first thing in the morning, and then her response, I was like waiting on edge for the response, because that meant to me, later on I realized this, but that meant to me approval. You're being approved right now. And so this went on for about 3 weeks, and I was in meditation. And keep in mind, I had a little bit of awareness that maybe I was altering myself a little bit. In this meditation, I watched this man come into like this dark space. I was deep in meditation. So as you can imagine, when you meditate, you kind of go through this battle of these intrusive thoughts and feelings that come up, and you're replaying the past, and then you see them, and you let these thoughts and feelings and patterns go, and then you come back to your breath. You come back to the present moment. That's meditation, really, in a nutshell. But when you get past that part of the battle, you enter this place of nothingness, where it's just this dark, empty space, or it's a lit up, empty space. It looks different for everybody else, or it looks different for everyone. So this man walks into this like dark space, and he says to me telepathically, if I remove her, how are you going to feel about this? And I said, go ahead, that's fine, remove her. And then this voice, this person said to me, okay, I'm going to remove her then, and we'll see what happens. I said, go ahead, it's fine. And so I pop out of this meditation. I'm like, whoa, this was crazy. Like, I know what I saw. That was nuts. I want to say an hour later, I send a message to this girl, no response. The next hour, send another message, no response. Now in my mind, I'm feeling like my hands get sweaty, my heart's racing. I'm starting to ask myself, is she really interested in me? Am I just being played with? Like, what's going on? So all of these insecurities are coming up now. And a whole day goes by, no response. I sent her like 2 other messages. I'm like, all right, dude, just calm down. Don't be a weirdo. Don't be sending her all these text messages. She's busy. Just lay off the gas a little bit, pump your brakes. The next day she messages me and she tells me, hey, I don't think this is gonna work out. I don't think this is a good fit. I'm gonna do my thing, you do your thing. It's been nice to know you, you're awesome, but I'm just gonna leave this alone. And it felt like someone ripped my heart out of my chest. My breathing became shallow. I definitely started questioning my worth and my value. I just felt like someone just drained all of the energy and all of my blood out of my body. I probably even turned pale. And I definitely felt lightheaded for sure. And so that memory from the day before from the meditation came back. And it was almost as if like that person that came to me was like shaking his head like, yeah, I told you, let's see where this takes you. And so the first thing that popped in my head was, holy crap, you were feeding another void with this attachment with this person. Like, you hadn't even healed from this previous long-term marriage and relationship, and you're over here trying to fill this void. what are you doing? And so then I went into judgment and I started making myself wrong about this. So I stuck to the meditations, and I was actually looking forward to the meditations because I was getting more revelations about what was happening, and everything kept pointing to love yourself first. Fill up your cup first. Stop trying to pour into other people's cups and stop trying to get love and energy and attention from other people. Pay attention to you, Rob. You're good enough. And so that last phrase I heard, you are good enough, still sticks with me till this day. And I say it to myself every single day. Rob, you are good enough. You are good enough. That meant so much to me because I realized that I didn't believe I was good enough. And I pumped the brakes, of course, left her alone, did not message her once more after that. And I went to work on myself. And without going into too many details, I was doing mirror work where you're standing in front of the mirror and speaking to yourself in different forms of affirmations and, using certain positions like power positions where my arms are up, like in a winning position, or I'm like leaning over a desk, like I'm a boss, that type of thing, to reinforce the patterns of sufficiency, of being good enough, and of power. And so, I was doing many other things that were helping me rebuild my confidence and boost my self-efficacy and self-worth. And so a few months later, this woman was completely out of my mind, was not thinking about her at all. She pops up, sends me a text message. It's like 1 a.m. I'm driving back from a friend's house. And she says, hey, I've been thinking about you. Can you call me? I was like, what? This is crazy. I was like, I don't even really care to call her. Whatever, I'll call her. And so I called her up. We ended up hanging out that night. And we dated for a little while, and it was cool. It was amazing. It was great. But we ended up becoming really good friends. We didn't take the relationship seriously. We both realized that we have more fun together, just having a good time and hanging out with all of our groups of friends. Like, we don't need to be dating. And all of this whole transition and this growth came from letting go of this attachment, this need for love and acceptance and reciprocity from other people. Yes, I believe reciprocity is key in life. That's one of the universal laws. You get what you give. However, if you're only giving to get, there's an attachment there. You're giving selfishly because you want something in return, right? So I credit that transformation of that relationship and the relationship with myself primarily with the transformation I had within myself, with the focus of myself, of loving myself, and not looking to get another person to plug in to this emptiness that I had. And I see this going on in all parts of the world. I coach people in different parts of the world. I have friends in different parts of the world. And this is kind of a common thing where people lose themselves in the relationship. They lose themselves in the sense where they start altering their behavior. They alter their personality. So that way that person doesn't get mad about them, being independent. And so they will be less independent. They'll ask for permission. Hey, do you mind if I do this? Versus, hey, I'm going to do this. Do you want to come along? Or, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go bike riding or I'm going to go lift. What are your plans? What are you going to do? Okay, cool. Hey, you can come with me if you want. It's all good. This is what I'm going to do, though. These are my plans. And so I use that example because I see this a lot where people will give up their plans and they'll give up the things that they love to do because they don't want that other person to feel bad. So I'm a big believer in acting as if, right? How do you want to be? How do you want to show up? Do you see yourself as a powerful person, a sovereign person, an independent person, someone who thinks for themselves? Then go act in alignment with thinking for yourself and being independent and being free and being sovereign. Go do those things, because whatever your values are, whatever you value most, meaning whatever you have time, money, and energy for, you always find the money to do X. You always find the time to do Z. You always have the energy to carry out Y. Those are your values. Go act on those values. Act as if. Be that person. What's going to happen for you is you're going to attract another person who also values themselves, values their life, and puts their values first. What I've experienced time and time again, which has led me into the current relationship I'm in love with my business. I'm in love with my work. I'm obsessed with my business and my work. I'm obsessed with fitness, with taking care of myself, my body, my mind. I love freedom and clear communication. I met someone who matches those values, meaning they value the same things. I'm in the space of coaching. My girlfriend is in the space of coaching. In her previous relationships, her other boyfriends have had problems with her being so obsessed with her work, being so committed and dedicated to being the best at what she does, where they would complain and say, "You're never around, you don't have any time for me." When they had, and this isn't to knock this at all, but they had a 9 to 5 job where they were done by 4 or 5 p.m. and then they just wanted all the attention on them. Where my girlfriend in the past was like, "Hey, I'm still working, or I have more work to do after these clients. I'm putting together these packages, or I'm focusing on this." And so when we met, she's like, "Man, I love how you're doing your own thing. Like, you don't ever bother me about not having enough time for you." And I'm like, "Well, I know, because like I'm doing my own thing, and there's sometimes where I'm like, I don't have time to give right now. However, when I'm done, you're gonna get all of my time. I'm going to be 100% with you." And I also, and I tell her too, I tell her this day, I appreciate that you're doing your own thing because you don't bother me. And so my point here is, the more authentic you are to yourself, the more you place your values at the forefront and go after them, live them, be them, act as if, you're going to attract the right people into your life. And it won't be, let's say, because if you're not looking for a romantic relationship, it won't be that. It actually, let me reframe that. Because you're not looking for a romantic relationship and you're being your authentic self, you're more likely to attract a romantic relationship. It's always the things that we're not trying to go after that we attract easily. And you know why? Because we're not attached. When we're not attached, there's no sort of, "It has to be this way. Where is it at? I don't see it yet." Versus like, I'm just doing me, I'm following my path, I'm following my intuition, it feels good what I'm doing every single day, and then you attract people who are on that same frequency and they're like, "Hey, so what's up? Are you single, or what's going on?" So I wanted to add that in because like, that's so true. I've had this happen to me so many times with friendships, with relationships, with clients, business, all sorts of things. When you are committed to fulfilling yourself and you're filling your own cup, you have so much more to give, and there's never any sort of emptiness that comes with it. You're never expecting things in return just because you gave. And you'll connect with authentic, real, genuine people. So my closing words to you is, first of all, if this landed well for you, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with your people. But my closing words here is, if you want to connect with real, you have to be real to yourself. And if being real to yourself is going to ruffle some feathers, stick to being real. Let the truth reveal itself, because whoever's uncomfortable with you being real, as long as you're doing the inner work, not let's say you're an asshole and you are selfish, or you don't care about anybody else and you're like, "Well, this is just me, I'm just real." You're going to attract that. But if that's who you are and you're not doing the work on yourself to remove the layers of your ego to get to your true self, and you're just claiming and declaring, "This is just who I am," you're going to get what you give. You're going to get that same energy back. So my advice to you is, do the work. Do the work and be yourself, and keep doing the work and keep being yourself. But if that brings up issues with other people where they don't like you at your best self, or they don't like you at your true self, the truth is going to be revealed. It might not be a good match. Or, and I've seen this happen too many times to count, they change because they're inspired. You're not trying to change them. They choose to change because they're inspired. They want to level up because they see what you're doing. So in closing, be the change you want to see in the world. There is no ceiling.